Hello, I want to talk to you today about what I use in my garden, and it's been quite successful for many years. And I watch all this stuff on television, all these chemical products, and then you got the organic people out there that says everything's best. But a good number of the people here on YouTube really don't understand what they're talking about. I've read many books, and I put many practices into place over the past decade. And one thing I can tell you is, you get a product like this. This one's Neptune's Harvest, and it's a fish fertilizer. It smells awful, but it works. And you can get a cheaper brand. This one's called Bare Ground. I got this on Amazon for just a few dollars. And it's not processed nearly as well, but you'll get the same results. You just have to be careful with it, because you can burn your plants if you don't water it in. It's just the way it's processed. It doesn't really matter what brand you buy. They all work very well. And the main reason they work very well is they're an amino acid, and it helps with the soil structure. And you don't want to use that as your only fertilizer. You want to incorporate some old crop residue or compost or some type of animal manure. It just depends on what your interests are. For me, I usually go down to the Big Blue store and I buy this stuff called garden soil. And it's basically unfinished compost with a little bit of dirt added to it. Some people say it's got a little topsoil in it. But what that does for me is, when I put it in my row around the seeds, it takes it about 6 to 8 weeks before it starts to decay. And usually by the time your initial fertilizer starts to wear down or break down, this stuff gives it a second wind about the time it starts to flower or fruit. Most of my interest is in organic vegetable gardening. And I've used a lot of products that are derived from the ocean. This Neptune's brand has something called crab shells, which is the exoskeletons off of some seafoods. And I found that was very effective at dealing with root knot nematodes, and that's part of the reason most of the people have trouble with their garden where I live. And the corn does very well, and the pasture does very well. But I found I take a handful of that stuff and I'll throw it in around the bedding plants, and I don't have nearly the problems. It has a lot of calcium in it. It has a lot of micronutrients. The micronutrients are very important at soil structure. And this is kind of where I'm going today. I work this stuff in, even if you just work it in, rake it in with a hoe on the surface. It still works very well. I've been using some mulches. Last summer I bought a mower that had a bag attachment, and I kept putting my grass around my plants to conserve moisture and protect them from the summertime heat. And that worked out fairly well. And it'll break down just as soon as you turn it over in the spring. It'll feed the garden again. Anytime I'm doing that, I don't put any chemicals on the grass to control the weeds. That's just kind of a conflict of interest, because it'll carry over into the soil and cause more harm than good. I've been working with this guy called Lead Farmer 73 the past year, and he's more into fruit trees, and he's got some honeybees. And I've been working the past year trying to make room for some fruit trees. And it's been a lot of work. I haven't really had time to do anything, make any recordings or anything. I did one last summer busting out some sapling trees. You could probably find out. I believe it was August of 2019. And there's another product that I really like to use. It's either Job's or Espoma. It's an organic fertilizer. It has microorganisms in it, and that helps to get the activity going to use with this fish emulsion or fish hydroslate. It just depends on which product you use. I've had really great results with both. But I found out that when I take either the Jobs or the Espoma and I work it in around the plants, those beneficial microbes that go to work breaking down the grass residue, the manures, the compost, all that stuff. And it's really not that expensive. You can get it just about at any big box store. I'm a real firm believer in using seaweed with this fish emulsion, and I also do a foliar treatment when the flowers come on, and that just makes the flowers explode, and then they really start setting fruit. And I've actually doubled my bean harvest by doing 2 or 3 applications at the first flower to the point where it sets the fruit. And that's one of the benefits of using these liquid products. And since they're organic, you don't have to worry about burning the tissue unless you just flat out overdo it. That's what I have today. Thanks for watching.